It's out of this Southern River gym that 3 fighters from WA will be taking on the world in the Muay Thai Championships in Malaysia next month. thewest.com.au caught up with the lads to see what makes the sport tick.
World Championships is taking place on the 1st to the 10th of May in Langkawi, just off Malaysia. It's a massive event. There's over 80 countries coming. It's just where, you know, the best fighters in the world are coming. You know, all fighting under one set of rules, all you know, on a level playing field. It's potluck in who you draw. So, and if you're, you know, if you're successful, you'll have a fight every day up until the final. So if you think 80 people per division, both A and B team, you know, you're up for a hard week of fighting. Like any kid, you kind of get into it to be a bit tough and whatnot. And I think as you grow up, you start to realise, understand this whole martial arts journey, which, you know, people have been banging on about since it started, and what it teaches you, and just a whole bunch of different lessons about life, really.
Like anyone else in the sport, you just fall in love with it. It just becomes a part of what you do. Everything starts to revolve around training, fights. Your teammates become close, and it's the ultimate test, really. You can say you're this, you can say you're that, but we just go in and we test ourselves.
You know, there's that old saying, you know, what's done in the dark comes out in the light, and the light of the boxing rings, it's a pretty bright place to be, and there's nowhere to hide. If you haven't prepared, if you haven't got your plan sorted, if you haven't put in the hard work, if you haven't, you know, made the sacrifice along the way, it's a lonely place to be when your lungs feel like they're burning, and your opponent's still jumping around like there's nothing wrong with him. So, and you can transfer those experiences out into business or into life or into anything if you're prepared and you put your time in, and you go through the process of learning something and mastering it. Take boxing out, put in whatever. That's the journey.
My toughest was Queensland last year. First punch of the fight, broke my hand, and then so that was half my game gone. So it was pretty much just a war. I had a broken hand. He had 16 stitches in his head. There was a lot of blood, and we just banged on. Tongues hanging out. It was the hardest mentally, physically fight that I've had. I probably had ADD before they were giving pills for it. Do you know what I mean? I needed focus, and I needed, and that was how I channeled it, and got involved in martial arts. And then I had my first fight, you know, at 14. Fought an Arabian bloke who was about 26, and he beat the absolute snot out of me. And Mum, you know, she came to watch one fight, and she was in the crowd, and I thought I'd try a bit harder. She brought my granddad along, and I knocked the guy out, and he had a bit of a fit in the ring. It wasn't pretty. And you look back at the video, and everybody sort of quietened down because it was, you know, something bad was happening. And but I could still hear Mum saying, "Don't let him back up." And so she's always, you know, she always wants us to win, but she's not happy with me getting in that environment. You know, it's awesome having your brother there, one for support, but also to give you a kick up the butt if you're slacking off. He'll be the first, and I'll be the first to tell each other, you know, let's go, like, come on. And if we're having a bad day, then he's there to support and get you going, and hit pads good, and yeah.
We can't even go for a light jog together without it turning into a sprint to the finish line.
I'm always told as kids, you're never going to do a martial art. But I reckon if you ask them now, it's the best thing that's ever happened to us, because we're calm, although it might seem when we're training, but outside of it, you know, we're mellow now, and we just enjoy.
It's okay that people don't agree with the sport I do. It's okay that people don't like to watch people beat each other up.
Definitely opens doors. You get to see the world, but see a different side of the world. And once again, when you go there, you'll still have that whole intimidation part, but by the end of it, you make so many friends all across the world, and it's just networking, and then, yeah, it's the places you see are amazing.